25 years, so that's November in 4 years.
No, it's this November, it's its 25th.
Oh, from when it was commissioned?
Yeah, from when it was first unveiled, 1991.
It was unveiled on the quay,
Oh, right.
but it was
Yes,
started
of course.
years before.
Sorry.
You worried me then, I thought, oh
I
my
was
god, my
thinking-
maths is completely
I was thinking it was the year before I moved here. That, right. So this is
The commissioning process took about 2 years.
before that, yeah. And what sort of, how are you changing any of the public access to it and seating? Are you?
The seating will be repaired because it is very rusted. We can't really change
That's fine.
that because, I mean, that's the artist's intent.
Yeah,
He was
part of
design.
the sculpture.
We did investigate. I mean, obviously, these days disability awareness and access is really important. We did investigate the idea of a lift, but it's just not possible, and it would alter the original work. So, for a lot of reasons, the Heritage Lotteries have supported that decision.
Fine.
So.
Thank you.
Councillor Inga.
Hello, Steve, thank you so much. First of all, John, on your point about do people know it's there, I'm glad even as a start there's contrasting colours now going to be on the sculpture itself and then the surround. Actually, I think immediately, even to a layperson like me, it strikes me that really will make a difference. You said this is his only site-specific sculpture in the UK. Is that intended? Is that how he intended? That's question one. And second one is why Poole? Why were we lucky enough amongst all towns in the UK to get this?
Why Poole is, I'll come to you first, partly is because he lived not very far away. He had a house in Dorset from 1968. So
I think it was Tom Roberts, the architect,
Yeah, so he-
who knew this and approached him.
Yeah.
So it was a
And he was
personal
on
request.
Poole
So
Arts Council.
he was local to a certain extent and therefore knew Tom Roberts and was invited to be on the Poole Arts Council, and the commission came about at the same sort of time, which at the time was going to celebrate the end of an arts festival. But any public project this size takes a long time. So in fact 2 years is pretty quick, I think. Sorry, and the first part was...
And the first one was, this is the only site-specific
Yes.
sculpture in the UK.
I mean, he has done
as
other
well?
public projects, so he was rather famously involved in the Millennium Bridge, and there are 2 works that act as a sort of gateway to the Millennium Bridge on the St Paul side, but he never felt they were sculpture, and they actually look more like street furniture. So there were other things that he was involved in, but this is the only one that's outside in the public realm.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, just 2 points really. The situation next year is the Poole Maritime, or the European Maritime Weekend. Or
Yes.
whatever. Is there some ideas of using the sculpture at that point? And there's a huge publicity deal to that weekend. It would be good to incorporate that into that
Yes,
maritime.
we did consider that when we were thinking of a date to do our celebration, and we weren't thinking of the same weekend, but when we spoke with the team who are doing the Maritime Weekend, they have a lot going on already. So we will be opening it the week before. So it'll be all lovely and new and looking snipping.
So there's
ready
nothing
for that.
actually going to happen
We could well programme something. I mean, we have to know a bit more detail about the Maritime Festival and work with them to see. And we have a whole series of talks, so it might be that one of our talks is on that weekend. I think it's going to be very busy. So I mean, the quay I think is closed because they have events on the quay. So maybe we'll be doing something on the sculpture.
Okay. And the project, when's it going to finish? That you're talking about?
We are going to have the exhibition here until sort of, I think the end date, maybe October. We were going to have it a little bit longer, but
The actual project will be
But
finished?
the unveiling of the clean sculpture will be May
Yes.
2017.
yeah. And then-
17?
Yes,
Okay.
17. And but we'll be doing talks, events, art activity and things right through to January 2018.
And just one more then, well, it's always about signage. We have loads of public art in Poole, absolutely no signage whatsoever on most of it.
There is the Poole Trail, have you seen online?
Yeah, but I'm talking about things that are there in the public art situation, absolutely nothing to tell you what it is.
Well,
in this case, it has got a plaque on it,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it's fairly
Yeah.
insignificant, to be quite honest.
And
It
if you
doesn't
came
tell the
into
story.
Poole station or bus station,
Yeah.
there's no map that had it on at this stage.
So that's, I think it's important that
And there's no
signage
signage.
is thing, because there's loads of stuff that hasn't got
Yeah.
any, you've got no idea what it is.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this is an opportunity to rectify that for everything as well as for scene music. So,
Sorry. Yeah, I think the lady next. Sorry, she just
I
managed
was
to
going
get
to say,
there.
I know there's talk of money being available to improve the street scene on the quay, and personally I feel as if there's an awful lot of clatter
Yeah.
around it,
Yeah.
and if it stood free and
Yeah.
by itself, it would be more appreciated.
We are working on that.
Yeah.
my
have
hope
made
is that
some
the
inroads.
bins are certainly moved
Yeah.
somewhere.
Ah,
Which would be
right.
quite nice.
Yes,
And
yes. Could you look at that
the
picture?
sort of
and you
barriers.
think it is. There's too much other business,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
and it needs to stand on its
Yeah.
by itself.
What you'll notice in this photograph, which was by David Ward, this is going to be used on the calendar of the 20th Century Society. And the 20th Century Society is a body that seeks to save architecture and sculpture within Britain. And so this is going to be on the calendar, but we've cleaned the image up, so it just looks like...
Yeah, I wondered when you took
So
that
even
photograph.
even though it's pre-restoration, we have got rid of the barrier and the bins and the banners and things.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
because I think it's important that, we show it respect.
Yes. Well, that makes it look fantastic.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Sorry, and
Well, my
oh,
question,
Sorry.
I would, very similar to Sylvia, I was going to say, I thought you said improve the environment around and exactly the same thing.
and so the lighting is going to be improved
Yes.
and
Ah.
so on.
Night. It's going to be lit at night.
I'd like
so-
to say that the lighting is the original lighting, it was put in by our company.
Oh, was it?
Vaughan paid for it,
Oh, right.
the wholesalers,
Oh.
and we did it all free of charge for the installation and the...
There you go, another example
on it,
of...
and it was a nightmare because twice the steel had to go away because Carl looked at it and he kept changing his mind and all had to be sent away again.
To be galvanised in Birmingham.
That sounds all familiar.
But also when we had to do a test, because it was such a large structure, the harbour master was involved because it changed the view coming in from the sea.
Yeah.
And when we tested the lighting, we did it at 10:30 on a Friday evening when the pubs were just coming out, and we had people dancing and singing on the pier.
That's great. On that note, I love these stories, and we are, as part of our project, we would love to meet people who were involved in the original build. So I'll come and talk to you later. So if anybody knows anyone else who's got stories about sea music since it's been built or when it was built, please contact us, because that's going to be part of our project. We're going to have an archive of stories about sea music. So please spread the word. If you know anybody who's been involved, it would be great to meet them.
Please.
Can I ask about the original construction? Was any of it prefabricated? Because I've seen the models and undercover, and I just wondered whether somebody came and laid the bricks and then bought pieces, or whether it was brought in on a crane and plonked on the quay.
I think it was all done in piecemeal and it was welded on site. So there would have been, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So there were elements that were prefabricated and then put together. But as the lady and gentleman said, Caro, you can't make up your mind in the abstract completely. You can only really know how it's working once it's in situ. So changes were made in quite a spontaneous, even though lengthy, way once the sculpture had started to be built. So, but the pumping station was already there, as far as I understand it. So that was already there.
And the original location was further up the quay, but it was deemed it would be in the way of, I think it was near the lifeboat station, and they said you can't have it there because of the boats and different reasons. So it was moved here, and Wessex Water kindly agreed it could go on the pumping station, which, funny enough, he was known for putting his work on the ground, but it's now on a plinth.
On a plinth,
Yeah, so, and that was altered. You can see the added curves. We added, the curves are all part of the original design by Caro. So
The background of this photograph looks as though it's been amalgamated from another print because there aren't those cranes and
They
buildings.
move a lot. There's cranes move
Yeah,
all the
they
time.
are.
The view
It's
changes all the time.
The only doctoring was just to tidy it up a
The
little
front,
bit.
yeah.
That was all.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think he, because of the engineering background and his sort of practical side, I think he loved the fact that it was a sort of working end of the quay, that it felt like it was part of something rather than this sort of isolated, discrete object.
You can actually see it when you come
Yeah.
right down
Yes, yes.
View Road,
Yes.
so people see it as well.
The photographs that are being taken are quite extraordinary, and David Ward has been photographing it from miles away, and it's extraordinary how it does. You don't just spot the sculpture sometimes, but it's extraordinary how it does figure as a sort of eye-catching kind of symbol.
Which is what was his intent. It was, you
You
could
crawl
view
over it
you
all
could set
day.
in. You could, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So
can I
gonna
just
be-
ask where you mentioned the models, I can't remember what the correct term is when you make a model of the bigger thing. Sorry?
Maquette?
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Where did you say there was more than one, and where are
There
they
was more than
now?
one. It's slightly complicated. He couldn't quite decide what size model to work from, and they started making one which he then abandoned, and then made one which is about 10 foot tall, and then he made a separate piece that then became a separate sculpture. And
Where
that's
where
now,
are
I think,
those?
the models. He made models of everything. Every single exhibition. I mean, when we worked on Chatsworth, he made a model of the entire Chatsworth Park. So that was pretty standard, and after a particular project, those get destroyed. But the steel maquette still exists and is in a private collection in Spain, and that's called Ciudadgio, and it is very similar, but just a lot smaller.
It's private collection.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I was hoping we'd be able to perhaps be able to get it, but
You know, just as a, given what you said about how it stands out as a, not least the height of it, it's a pity it hasn't been used for maritime purposes as a sort of point, and obviously, you know, one doesn't want to do anything that sort of is not what the artist wouldn't have wanted, but we don't have such a landmark.